5 things I never do with skincare. I'm Laura Ray. Today we're going to talk about some tips, some products I use, and things that I make sure I never do. You'll definitely want to hear number 5, so make sure you watch to the end. If you enjoy this type of video and feel that I've earned your like, then I would love a like, and especially if you would subscribe to the channel. Let's start off with number 1, and that is I never use the same products for the day and the night. I used to use several of the same things, but I've switched that up because I want more ingredients. I want to pack them in. It's like getting a healthy diet and you want to get all your colorful foods in one day. That's how I feel about skincare. So the day is all about protecting my skin, and the night is all about repair. I always wash my face in the morning. One cleanser that I really love is this one from Alana Mitchell. This is her foaming cleanser. I've never shown it before. I've always shown the creamy cleanser, which I love so much. I've used several bottles of that. But this is a foam cleanser. Perfect. I love the way it spreads on the face. All of her products, because she's an esthetician, she's designed them to feel like you're at a spa. This has a light scent to it, doesn't bother me at all, and I absolutely feel so great. My skin feels so clean when I'm done. The next product I go in is with an essence. Now, I've used Snail, Mucin, a lot of the COSRX products. I'm using currently this one from Thank You Farmer. It's their Rice Pure Essential Toner. It sinks into the skin quickly. It's like putting water on your skin. And again, you always want to layer with your lightest weight products first that are going to go in quickly to the heaviest at the end. And the last one's always supposed to be sunscreen. So I go in with this toner. It really keeps my skin hydrated and works well under makeup. Next is my vitamin C. I'm currently using this one from Numbuzin, the 5+. I just put a couple of drops, spread it around the skin. This is for, of course, dark spots, discoloration. I don't want my skin to sag. That's going to be one of my biggest issues. I know with both of my parents, their main complaint as they've gotten older was not wrinkles, it was sagging skin. So I've gotten back to vitamin C. This has some other great ingredients in it, and I feel like it's such a worthwhile product. Next, I go in with a serum, and you wouldn't have to do this step. You wouldn't have to do an essence either. I just find that these work really well for me. I'm using the one from Merit. They're great skin. And again, when you look at it, it looks like it would be so oily. It is not. It feels like water on your skin, but it leaves my skin feeling very hydrated. I love the way it feels. A product has to feel good, not only have great ingredients, but it has to feel good for me. I don't want to feel sticky. I don't want to feel itchy. If products are too heavy, my skin gets very itchy. So I have to be very careful with the weight of the product I'm using, even if it has great ingredients. So this one has been just a wonderful product. Next is eye cream. There are so many out on the market, but I feel this one is so awesome and yet so affordable. I've paid $40, even $50 for eye cream before. This is a little over $10. It's the Peeper Keeper Bright Eyes. This is the firming one. This has caffeine in it. I love all of their eye creams because they have another one and then an eye balm that I use. But this is a little thicker, and it is just perfect if I have a little bit of puffy eyes or if I just feel like my eyes underneath are a little saggy. Now we're almost done. It's time for moisturizer, and I spoke about recently, this was my top daytime moisturizer, this one from Merit. I did a video on moisturizers I use with vitamin A products, so if you haven't seen that, you might want to watch that video. But why I love this is I'm putting on all these layers, and again, I want something thin, not too thick. I have combination skin, but at times I do get dry from vitamin A. So it will feel like I'm a dry skinned person, even though I'm not. And as the day goes on, I get oily in the T-zone. So this is lightweight, spreads beautifully, sinks in quickly. If I'm trying to leave the house and don't have time for moisturizer to dry down, then this is just perfect. The last step is sunscreen, and I have so many I've been trying over the summer. This one from Prequel is so affordable. I love the feel of it on my skin. It is not tinted. Usually I use a tinted sunscreen so I can eliminate foundation, but a lot of women don't like tinted sunscreen, so I wanted to share this with you. But this is super affordable, around a drugstore price. Dr. Sam Ellis, she has a channel here on YouTube. She started her own skincare line, and this is her sunscreen, and I think it's fantastic. It's not super lightweight as some of the like sun milks, but it's definitely not heavy either. And I like the way it looks on my skin. It gives it a little bit of luminosity. Let's talk about nighttime, because I don't use the same cleanser at night. I double cleanse because I've got this layers of makeup, I've got sunscreen on, and I really want to get it all off. So I start with an oil. I have two that I alternate between. This one from Alana Mitchell, I don't think I've ever mentioned before. It's called her Face and Body Sunscreen Remover. This is like a regular face oil. You just wet it and it gets milky, but it really gets the sunscreen off. So sometimes I start with this, or I still like the DHC, their Deep Cleansing Oil. I just go in and I just want to get into the pores and get all of this off my face. And then I go in with a cleanser. And I really do love the one I spoke about, the milk cleanser from Alana Mitchell. It's just beautiful. I love the feel of it. I really do feel like I'm at a spa. I've had several bottles of this and I keep going back to it because I really do love the way it feels on my skin. This is the exception to the rule. For day and night, I'm using the Prai Pro on my neck. So I start off with the serum. This turns on right here. It's got a little metal roller, just like those cooling rollers. And you just squeeze the bottom of the product and you'll see the gel start to come up through the top. And then you just roll it right onto the neck. This is also made for the chest. And I just sort of pat that in. That's your first layer. It's a serum. I just take my silicone little scooper, about a dime size amount, maybe a little more than that, and then rub it all over the neck and chest, just like this. Now, you can use your moisturizers, of course you already have, but this is geared with special ingredients for the neck and chest. So I just put the cream here on my neck, my chest, and this Prai Pro I really like because I think it actually works and makes my neck look so much better. I have different essences that I use at night that I alternate between. This is one that I like, the Comfort Ceramide Cream Mist. This is so thin, you could use it during the day. I will use a different one at night than I use in the morning. And I love how hydrated my skin feels. Remember, at night, we're looking for that repair. And because of the air conditioning, pedal fans, all the things going on at night, my skin can get very dry during the night. This is an essence that I rotate between either using it during the day or night because it's got great ingredients and it keeps my skin hydrated. I've talked a lot about the Kiehl's eye cream. It's an avocado eye cream. It feels just beautiful under the eyes. When I was struggling with super dry under eyes a few months ago, I started using it and I couldn't believe the difference it made immediately from the first time I used it. So I'm down to the last little bit of this and I'll be reordering it because it really is great in the under eyes. I recently graduated from the Naturium 0.05 to the 0.1. This is a fantastic product, so affordable, a great form of vitamin A. My skin really loves this stuff. As long as I keep up with my moisturizer, I don't get too flaky. I definitely get some flakes from this, more than I did from the 0.05. I thought I wasn't getting flakes, and about 3 days into it, I looked at my forehead and it was just covered in flakes. And I thought, ooh, I got to step it up with the moisturizer. This works great and helps with my fine lines and wrinkles. Last but not least, moisturizer. I have to put that on top. I have several, but I would recommend one I talked about in my video recently from Paula's Choice. This is the one that is very close, has been called a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream. This is made for very dry or dry skin. It is just beautiful. It's her replenishing moisturizer. I love the feel of it on my skin. I like to end it with this. This keeps me from getting so many flakes. When I get that way from the vitamin A products, either I lay off of them for a night or two, or I go a little heavier with the moisturizer, depending on what's going on. But this one has been a game changer for me. The second thing I never do with my skincare is use too much or too little of a product. I've got it down pretty pat now how much that I should use, and this comes from the recommendation of dermatologists. So let's start with first the cleanser. When I'm using the Alana Mitchell, 1 pump will do it. If you like lots of suds, you could do 2 pumps. When I'm using the cream cleanser, all I need is the size of a dime. And you always want to start with a damp face. I didn't always do that. Sometimes I put cleanser right onto my dry face, and it's not going to spread as easily, and you're going to feel like you need more product, which is wasteful. If you have your face damp to begin with, I really soak my face first. It's so refreshing anyway, and that removes some of the dirt. Just with water, you can get some of the dirt off, and makeup and product and skincare, everything from the day. So 1 pump or a dime size will do it. When I'm applying a serum, all you need to do is dot it around the face. You don't need a lot of serum. So something like this Merit, I just do 1 tiny pump. It does my whole face. That's why this is going to last me for probably a year, because I'm using so little. You really don't need much with a serum. For eye cream, a pea size is all you need for both eyes. And you always want to make sure to use your ring finger. I will often tap my fingers together, put the eye cream onto 1 finger. I always make sure that my hands are really clean before I'm touching my under eyes. And then just dab the cream on and keep pressing it in until it all goes in. I don't really put eye cream on my mobile lid. You have to be careful with that. Just make sure whatever eye cream you're doing is okay for the eyes. Some eye creams they make have retinols and other things that can sting your eyes. And I really just go up onto the bone here and around, and that does the trick for me. If you're using a face oil, all you usually need is 2 to 3 drops. Again, this is a product that's going to last you a really long time. I use face oil when I'm doing my gua sha. I still love the one I talked a lot about from Alana Mitchell, but there are others that I've used. I've used plain jojoba oil. You can use that. You just want to make sure whatever oil you're going to use is not going to give you any kind of reaction or breakouts. That's why when I find one that works, I sort of stick with it. I know people like to hear a lot of different reviews about different oils, but I've had some problems doing that. So sometimes you don't want to fix it if it's not broke. Sunscreen. This is talked about all the time. I hear people remarking, oh, this person's not using enough. They're not getting enough coverage. But what they're saying now, dermatologists, is enough to cover 2 fingers, and that's what I use. Sometimes once it dries down, if I feel I missed something, I go back, I cover my ears, my chest. So you just want to make sure everything is well covered. The third thing I never do with my skincare anymore is I never skip a double cleanse. I always double cleanse at night. I've talked about this one from DHC. You could do it with coconut oil. You know, I've had those comments before. Why are you paying all that when you can use coconut oil? But some people are allergic to coconut oil. I have had some little reactions before to different oils I've tried that are more affordable. This works great. Not having a reaction is really important to me. So just because coconut oil or jojoba oil works for one person doesn't mean every person is going to have that same experience. So I like using this, or again, the one from Alana Mitchell. This one is a beautiful oil too that really gets that sunscreen off. So I always make sure I do that and then go in with whatever regular cleanser that I'm currently using. Number 4, I never use anything heavily fragranced anymore. I just can't. And I know that's hard for people to understand that douse themselves in perfume and are good. But for those of us that are sensitive, this came on as I got older. We have all kinds of reactions from fragrance, feeling like it's difficult to breathe, a plugged nose, just all kind of itchy throat, itchy ears. So all of these things can happen because of heavy fragrance coming from shampoo, from perfume, from fragrance in products. So I'm not the Lone Ranger here. I get a lot of comments from people that are very allergic to heavily fragranced products. I recently talked about the Bioma, their oil that I use to moisturize in the shower, and their body wash. Now, the body wash is fragranced, but it's so light I can get by with it. I can usually get by with fragrance body wash. I just can't for things that are going to lay on my skin all day. I might get a rash from it or feel very itchy. Now, another product that I think is amazing for the body is from Naturium. I talked about this also recently in my Miracle product video, and this is their body lotion. My legs were getting very crepey. They just looked terrible. And this has been a game changer. You only need to use it 2 or 3 times a week. It's not something you apply every night. So I've been using that. It's helped so much with the skin on my arms and legs. That becomes a real issue for us over 60 ladies. As we get to this age, a lot of us are dealing with looser skin and crepiness. So what I've been doing is in the shower, after I'm done, I pat my skin dry and I either use the Naturium cream or from Bioma, their oil. The oil just makes my skin so beautiful. It's really helped to make it look less crepey. It has really a nice glow to it after I use that. So those are a couple of the things that I'm doing that are either fragrance-free or low fragrance. Number 5, this is the one I wanted to talk about that I know will be a pet peeve for many of you, is I try to not dip my fingers into jars anymore. I still love being able to get a product out without dipping my finger in. So there's a couple of things I've been doing. I bought a skincare set from EcoTools, and it's got a little spatula in the set that I bought, and I will link that along with everything else I'm talking about in the description of the video. But this is great, like when I use the neck cream, to just take it and dip in. And of course, I'm washing this often. It's so easy to get clean. Now, another thing I showed a while back in one of my Amazon videos, I believe, are these little airless pumps. So I will take a cream. I didn't take it out of this because look at this jar. It is just beautiful. It makes me feel like it's jewelry or something. So I didn't want to throw away this jar. It's just too pretty to do that. But other jars aren't that attractive, and I put it into this airless pump. I also put my lip balm from Laneige in one too, where I can squirt it up instead of dipping my finger into the product. But all you do is squeeze like this, and it comes right out of the top. So I'll take something like if I buy a tub of CeraVe, something like that, that comes in a not as attractive container, and put it into this. It makes it look so much more luxe, and you're getting the product without having to dip your finger into the container. Everything's linked in the description of the video. Thank you for shopping those links and supporting my channel. I'm a very small channel in the scope of YouTube, and so I really appreciate the thumbs up and subscribing. And let me know, do you have anything you don't do with your skincare anymore? Have you had to make changes as you've gotten older, or you just found better ways of doing things? We would love to hear what's going on with you in the comments. I appreciate and love you all so much. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you soon.